What up, Rage Nation? Of course, as always, this is the behind the scenes look of what it takes to get a radio interview. Ryan with First to 11 here with us. What's up, man?
Not much. Just hanging out in the explosion of kids' toys and video games that is my basement.
Right on, man. All right, so let's go ahead and get this started. Segment one, we're going to play a game. It's a game designed to get to know you a little bit better, okay?
All right.
All right, segment number one in 3, 2, 1. Indie Rage Radio, IndieRageRadio.com. I am extremely pumped, on the edge of fanboying right now. Ryan from First to 11 is with us today on the show. Ryan, what's up, dude?
Oh, not much. Just hanging out.
And I lied. I am fanboying, by the way. You guys, man, I love your content. You guys are an amazing cover band. And I've always said it on the show, more than not, I love cover songs more than the original songs. And you guys knock it out the park every single time, dude.
Oh, thanks so much. You got to give love to cover songs. As much as
man.
People, don't like them or talk down on them, they're very, very important to all of music history.
Yeah, well, those people are stupid and they don't know what they're talking about. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All right, so we like to play a little game in the first segment to get to know you better, Ryan. We call it 10 Rounds with Mikey O. And it's kind of like a this or that. I'm going to say 2 things or 3 things, and you pick which one you like more, okay?
Okay.
Gives the Rage Nation a little inside look of how Ryan ticks. Here we go.
Rapid fire.
Round number 1. Autobot or Decepticons?
Decepticons.
What? Wrong answer, by the way. All right, here we go. Round number 2. Hamburger or pizza?
Pizza.
Yeah, you can't lose either way, but what's your favorite toppings on a pizza?
I do like the meat lovers. Sausage, bacon, ham, all that stuff.
What's your favorite pizza chain?
Ooh, Blaze Pizza, but I just had a one-on-one argument with the manager at my Blaze Pizza the other day. So he was hiding the online orders. So you know how they have like the shelf where you pick up your online orders?
Yeah.
Hiding them. He was like, people are stealing online orders. So I like went and looked for mine and it wasn't there. And he was like, what's your name? And I was like, Ryan. He pulls it out from out of the counter. And I was like, how long has it been sitting there? And he was like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. It's like, why are you hiding them?
See, you went villain on them because you like Decepticons, see?
Yeah, I'm the bad guy.
All right, round number 3, summer or winter?
Oof. I think I'm going to go summer right now just because I'm sick of winter. But I get sick of summer. You have to ask me in 6 months.
How'd the polar vortex treat you guys over there in Pennsylvania?
I mean, it was supposed to be super nice this week. It was supposed to be 60 degrees, and I was really excited to drive my sports car in February, but it didn't happen.
Dang.
It ended up being like 23.
All right, let's keep up with that. These are some things that you can do in the winter and the summer. Round number 4, mountains or beaches?
Ooh, I'm going to say mountains. I like to be up high.
What's the highest mountain or, I guess, elevation you've been to? Do you know?
I do not know. No. But I like rooftop bars. I like to look out over the city, I like that sort of stuff.
Like a gargoyle?
Yeah. Wow, great analogy.
Round number 5, CDs or vinyl?
I would normally say CDs. I grew up on CDs, but we just released a First to 11 vinyl. So nice. I'm excited to try that out. I've actually never owned a record player. I've never owned a vinyl, but we just got our test pressings of our greatest hits vinyl. So I'm kind of on team vinyl right now.
Yes. Now, let me give you some advice here. When you're looking for a record player, do not skimp. I know from experience, you go for the cheap ones on the Amazon because you think record players are all the same, and then your records end up scratched and you're screwed.
No, I mean, the reason that I'm like, I've always wanted to get into it. I haven't, but I went to this dude's house to buy like an amp or something like that. And he was playing like a live Led Zeppelin, like recording on vinyl. And I was like, why does it sound so amazing? And he's like, it's because it's vinyl. And he's like, because I paid a lot of money for this stereo. And it was like one of the best listening experiences that I've had in a long time. After mainly listening to like stuff on crappy headphones when I was a kid, and then
Yeah.
in my car that had a very unbalanced, like bass heavy system. And yeah, when I was listening to that record, I was like, dang, this is like a whole different thing. So I want to get like, not like a room, but maybe a room without a TV in it, that just has speakers in it, just sit and listen kind of thing.
Yeah, get you like one of those like floor to ceiling, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
what am I looking for here? I guess shelving, and just put up a wall full of records. That'd be dope.
Yeah, I want like the Macintosh amp with the tubes and all that stuff. I want to go hard.
Yeah. All right, round number 6, milkshake or malt?
Malt would be like a soda, right?
No, no, no. It's a milkshake, but they put malt in it.
I'm gonna go milkshake because I don't know what malt is.
I will tell you this though. If you ever get froggy, a malt will change your life. I don't know if you got like a good ice cream shop around there, but
Okay.
malt is like another milk product, but the texture that it gives and the taste that it gives the milkshake, chef's kiss.
I think, yeah, I might have had one at one point, but didn't know the difference. I might have just thought it was a milkshake.
Oh man. Yeah, you should try it. It'd take you to a different realm.
All right, all right.
All right. You talked about games earlier. Round number 7, Xbox, PlayStation, or Nintendo?
Oh gosh. I'm a Nintendo guy, 64 all the way, but my son Cohen is he's Xbox and PlayStation. We got both of them now.
Mm-hmm. Now, look, a lot of people say Sega changed the game with the Genesis.
True.
16-bit, they pushed it as far as it could go, and some of the games on there looked absolutely amazing. But when Nintendo 64 came out, minds were blown.
When I plugged in Mario 64, I got it like right when it came out. And I plugged in Mario 64 and I was like, I can run any direction. This is silly. Like being in a 3D space in a video game I was upside down. I was like, what is this? But I also just recently tried. So Cohen has the PlayStation 5 and Gran Turismo has VR on it. And
Nice.
I'm in the same place. I tried that and I was like, whoa, I can't believe that video games have come this far. Because I'm sitting in like a racing seat with a wheel and the shifter, and I got the goggles on, and it's like being in the car. It's insane.
That is nuts. Yeah, have you seen the Gran Turismo movie?
I saw like pieces of it. I had it on like one night when I was like trying to do some work, and I was just watching it because I know Amelia Hartford, another YouTuber's in it, and I was just trying to get to her scenes.
It's a fantastic movie. And I wonder if this VR is going to, like, I guess, a new generation of young drivers that could possibly turn into actual drivers.
Oh, for sure. I don't know if you have seen my kid's videos, but Cohen is a guitar player. He's super, super good. He's 7 years old. He's super, super good at guitar and drums. And my daughter Quinn is really good at bass. And they learn so fast when they're young.
Yeah.
And so Cohen's playing, Gran Turismo. And for a while, he was just kind of like, oh, I'm just going to crash into stuff. That's fun for him. But then, we started doing these like challenges where he was like going through driving school. And it was like, all right, well, here's the entry point of this corner. Here's the apex. And here's where you track out. And he's following, the directions. And he's a damn good driver. Like he's great. And it's crazy now that this kid with this VR on is able to be in a real car on a real track with the real sensation of speed and like learn, things that you would never be able to learn unless you went like karting hardcore. But yeah, he's got good driving mechanics already, and he's 7. It's insane.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you should get your son into real racing here, and we could see a movie about him in a few years.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm already brainstorming on the cart that I want to get him, and
yes,
race is just down the road from us, and yeah, it's gonna happen. I know it.
Nice. Round number 8. Fly or drive?
Oh man, that's a tough one too. Lately, I've been drive. I've been, if it's less than 8 hours, I'm driving. Because by the time you get to the airport and, some of the flights that you would take, it ends up being 8 hours anyways. You might as well be in a comfortable environment, not have to worry about other people.
Most definitely. One time I flew to Orlando, and it was a terrible experience going there. Coming back, I'm a big dude. Coming back, I was sitting by a girl that was an absolute toothpick. And I was like, yes, this is going to be amazing. And it still sucked.
You had 1.5 seats and
Yeah.
Didn't even
I
finish
was like, I do not want to fly. If I can drive, I'm like you. If I can drive, I'll drive it.
it. Mm-hmm.
All right, number 9, pop punk or metalcore?
I years ago I would have said metalcore, but I felt like that genre was really narrow. You know what I mean? And pop punk is kind of stood the test of time. It's going a lot of different directions and appealing to people still in their 40s and stuff like that. So I'm gonna say pop punk.
Oh yeah, you get a good pop punk track on the radio, I will stop what I'm doing to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And the finale of 10 rounds with Mikey O, round number 10, mohawk or mullet?
Mm. I think mohawks are even trashier than mullets somehow. I don't know. So I'm going mullet.
Yes, we have another mullet. You know, a lot of people, like you said earlier, that people look down on cover bands. A lot of people look down on the mullet, but deep down inside,
Oh, it's in now.
like people
It's
know
all
they
the way
love the
back in.
mullet.
I had
I
a
mean,
rat tail. I never had a mullet, but in the 90s I had a rat tail.
you know, they're coming back. You can still do it. You got the
Still,
long hair.
I got a good starting place for all that.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see that on a first to 11 video in the future. That'd be
Oh,
awesome.
for sure. I'm about done with the long hair this round, and I'm gonna play with it on the way down. I'm gonna cut it to here. I'm gonna do it here. I'm gonna do all kinds of stuff on the way to having short hair again.
Yes. All right. So let's talk about your. I just lost my train of thought there. We're gonna have to edit this. Of course, not on the video here, but on the radio show. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right, so moving on with 10 rounds with Mikey O. Let's go ahead and play some of the cover songs, man. That's what everybody is here for. Let's play Call Me Maybe. What went into the decision to cover this song?
Sometimes I like to just listen to pop songs and I start to kind of like tap out the tempo. And I'll be like, all right, what other songs do I know that have this tempo in them? And sometimes I have to Google it. I'm like, what other songs are at, 130 beats per minute? Just to like kind of take me away from that song. Like, just strip it down to just the beat of it. And then I'll try and take like drum beats from other songs that are at that tempo. So in this case, I think there was two versions of this that I was trying to decide between. One of them, I can't remember what the other one was, but the one that we ended up going with was a Deftones song. So I was like, oh, what if I just strip the drums out of Call Me Maybe and put this Deftones beat behind it? And then you have to figure out, is it a 2-chord progression? Is it a 4-chord progression? And just so happened that Be Quiet and Drive was a 2-chord progression. Call Me Maybe was a 2-chord progression. So I was like, oh, this is going to work perfectly. And I just started playing Be Quiet and Drive and mashed those two songs together. And it clicks, It's like literally like they're two totally different gears, but the ratio was 2-to-1. You know what I mean? Like it worked. And then once I get it clicked in place, then it's on from there.
There we go. Here's First to 11 with their cover Call Me Maybe on Indie Rage Radio. All right, very good. Segment number 2, we're going to talk a little bit about the origin story of the band.
Okay.
All right, segment 2 in 3, 2, 1. Indie Rage Radio, IndieRageRadio.com. We are here with Ryan from the band First to 11. Ryan, where can they find? I mean, and look, I know most of the people watching this have found First to 11, but if nobody has heard First to 11 yet, where can they find you on the internet?
First to11.com is the website, but our biggest presence is on YouTube. So youtube.com/first to11. And then we're also on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, in that order of popularity, I believe.
They're everywhere. Go find them on social media. Go follow them. Go subscribe to them on YouTube. Stream their music. Watch their videos. Go buy some merch. Support this band. And speaking of the band, you guys have been doing it for a long time, man. 15 years.
Yeah.
You guys formed in 2009, correct?
Yeah.
Insane. Like, you guys were young pups back then.
I mean, I wasn't. I'm 15 years older than pretty much everyone else in the band. So I was their guitar teacher
Mhm.
and I was helping them, learn to play their instruments. And then I was like, all right, you guys, next step is form a band. So then I, taught them how to be a band. So how to book shows, how to, get a live set together, how to, what to do, what not to do, how to set up your gear quickly and be efficient and all that sort of stuff. So I was helping them out behind the scenes for many, many years. And then when it came time that they were 18, so they started, I think Matt was 8 or 9 years old when the band started.
Wow.
So yeah, they were all born in 2000, and then it took them all the way up until they were 18. And some of the kids were, I want to go to college. Some of the kids were, I want to pursue music. And for the ones that wanted to pursue music, it was just Audra, Sam, and Matt. And they needed a bass player because they were doing videos as just a 3-piece for a while. And everyone was like, I hear bass. Where's the bass player? And so then I started playing with the band instead of, kind of coaching them and managing them and stuff like that. So then I think that was in 2018 or something like that. I started playing with the band.
Right on. And how did you guys, I don't know, because, a few members of the band have concrete castles.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how did you guys come to the conclusion of, hey, we want to start out as a cover band and not do original stuff?
Well, First to 11 did start out doing original stuff. Like,
Okay.
and the whole purpose of doing the cover in the first place, or starting like on YouTube doing covers, was because they had a spot on Warped Tour. And we wanted to make sure that people were going to get to the stage. So we were like, how can we attract, a big crowd to their spot? Because there's 50 other bands on Warped Tour. It was like, how do we cut through all that? So we did a cover of Heathens by 21 Pilots, and we rocked it up and made it a little bit heavier. And obviously having a female singer on it made it, a bit different. And that was the intent, was just to get people to show up on Warped Tour to that stage. And that ended up being like, all right, well, now forget Warped Tour. That's over. Let's just do this consistently, because it got millions and millions of views. So we were like, all right, maybe this is something that we should do on a regular basis. And then it was like, all right, well, let's build up to, having a huge following. And we would say like, all right, 100,000 followers, maybe then we'll release, more original music. And we did, and we got a little bit bigger, and we released more original music. And then it was kind of like, we realized that you can make money off of YouTube. And then we were like, all right, well, let's, try and set this in motion that we're all stable, and this is something that we can focus on all the time. So yeah, it was always in effort to do original music. It was never really, we wanted to do covers. It was just like, sometimes you have to do what you got to do. And covers are the way to gather the most attention and get the most eyes on your stuff. It bridges the gap between what you sound like and what the listener is already familiar with, So it just kind of opens a lot of doors, and it put the focus on Concrete Castles too. So when they released their first single, we released it on the First to 11 YouTube channel, and, built-in audience, built-in, they already know how to record. They already know how to do all this stuff, because of the YouTube channel and past experiences. So it was a very easy transition when they were like, all right, let's focus on originals now. And because I'm a little bit older and I've got kids and stuff like that, I was like, no, you guys go off, you do your thing, go through all the stuff that I had to go through playing original music. It's you got to cut your teeth, you got to pay your dues, you got to do all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, you guys definitely took doing what you got to do, and you made something of it, man. You guys are
Yeah.
an amazing cover band. And so let's talk about this next cover right here. You said before we started recording that it is one of your biggest covers to date, Sweet Child of Mine. And obviously, I'm not going to ask you why you covered this song, because it's an amazing song. But what's kind of like the backstory of how this came to be?
So the song selection is like, when First to 11 were 10 years old, I was like, this was a challenge song for them. It was like going from playing Green Day and, simple Metallica songs to like, all right, let's play something epic. Let's play something with 3 guitar solos in it. Let's play something that's got some, vocal runs and you can show off Audra's, abilities and stuff like that. And so that was the idea of the song, is they've been playing it forever. They've been ending every show with that song because it's just the best closer there possibly can be. it has such a triumphant ending to it. And then when it came time to shoot the video, I got kind of selfish. And there's a hot dog company in Erie that makes like banger hot dogs, like the best hot dogs you ever could have. But they also have like bacon and ham, and it's just a meat processing company. And their stuff is so good, it's kind of expensive. And I was like, all right, what can I do that can feature their products and get a bunch of views that maybe they'll be like, let's give Ryan some free ham or something like that.
Yes.
So I was like, all right, let's have a cookout, because Sweet Child of Mine was always like, a radio station in our town does like a Memorial Day 500 where it just counts down the top 500 rock songs of all time. And like, you know, you're at a cookout with your family and you're listening to the radio, and Sweet Child of Mine is always like top 5. And so that song has always been like synonymous with like family cookouts, you know, hanging out, having a day off, having a holiday. And so I wanted to give that vibe in the video. And so we had, you know, the grill out, and Smith's did donate a bunch of you know, hot dogs and stuff like ox roast and stuff for us. So yeah, that video was really just me trying to get free hot dogs. So we put a big, like, you know, reveal of the Smith's logo, you know, in the video, but it definitely has gone way beyond that at this point. Because I think now we've basically given them more viewership than like a Super Bowl commercial would have.
Most definitely. Here they are. It's First to 11 with the cover Sweet Child of Mine on Indie Rage Radio. All right. Coming up in segment number 3, we're going to talk about your upcoming tour.
Awesome.
In April. And we're going to play the Daytona 2000 song. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Indie Rage Radio, IndieRageRadio.com. We are back with Ryan from the band First to 11. Find them on YouTube. Go hit subscribe. Go to first211.com. Hit up all their social medias. Buy some merch. Stream their music and support this band. They definitely deserve it. So let's talk a little bit about touring. You guys got one coming up in April.
Yeah. We're going to be out for a little over 2 weeks playing mainly East Coast, a little bit of East Coast, a little bit of Midwest.
Yeah, and your other cover band, Daytona 2000, which is a pop punk cover band.
Yeah,
they're coming as well.
Yeah. So when we were trying to do like the first to 11 tours, we had a hard time finding, because we're a cover band, and you know, most bands that tour are original bands. So it was hard for us to find an opening act that kind of made sense. So the second tour that we went on, we were like, let's bring our friends, you know, let's bring our studio. Let's make this a package deal that's all, you know, from Erie, PA, everybody that works with us, everybody that's, you know, talented in our area. And so Daytona Beach is the direct support, and Brooke Surgener is the opener. And Daytona Beach is my friend Trevor's kind of brainchild, as he grew up on Blink-182, and he's just a phenomenally talented human being. And it was like, he needs his own group, because he was doing like acoustic duo stuff, but he kills it, you know, at 80s metal. He kills it at Blink stuff. Like he can do the Tom voice, like to a T, you know, all, you know, the cartoon version of it and the real deal. But he needed, you know, a way to shine. And that band was like, I was like, Trevor, just do your thing, man. Be silly, be, you know, over the top. And that's where Daytona Beach came from.
Yeah, and you guys have done some crossover videos with First to 11. I've always enjoyed those. If there's one band that you would say is your favorite band to cover out of the whole catalog that you guys have done, what band is that and why?
I mean, Metallica is like what I grew up on. So I love our Metallica covers. I like doing those, but they're not super challenging. And sometimes those songs are like, man, I've heard them a billion times. And I love it when our fans go nuts for them, though, because they seem to really respond to those covers. But I'd say the ones that I get excited about are the pop ones. So it's like Lady Gaga. We've done probably 4 or 5 of her songs, and they aren't necessarily pop songs at heart, you know, like they they can be really easily translated into any genre. It just happens to be that they decided to go with pop when they released the, you know, the recording. But they could have been a metal song. You know, they could have been anything. And I think that, you know, just goes to show how when you write a song very, very well, it can turn into a rock song, it can turn into a pop song, it can turn into anything, you know. And yeah, her collab with Metallica kind of proved that. You know, she just hopped on stage and started singing a Metallica song, and it didn't sound like a pop singer singing a Metallica song. It sounded like, you know, she had some roots in that genre and knew what she was doing.
Yeah, and speaking of Metallica covers, back in the early 2000s, MTV did kind of like an honoring Metallica show, and they had a bunch of bands go up there and do the covers. Did
And
you hear the Limp Bizkit Sanitarium cover?
dude, that is my number one all-time favorite cover
Bro.
because it was so like it was so Limp Bizkit, you know what I mean? Like it sounded like a Limp Bizkit song, and but it was still a Metallica song. You know, they
Mhm.
just put their spin on it so perfectly, and he got the crowd like super hype. And I think at that point was when Wes Borland had left the band,
Right.
and Mikey Smith was the guitar player. And I didn't know this at the time, but Mikey Smith like has some ties to Erie, PA. So he
Mm.
either lived here for a little bit or was originally born here, something like that. But I mean, I saw that cover and I was like, that could not have been any better than that. It was so good. But that show in general was just a really cool concept. I believe uh Korn did one, and
Mhm.
Avril Lavigne did Fuel, and Sum
Kid
41
Rock
did
did one?
Medley with Master Puppets in it. Snoop Dogg did one. Yeah, that was crazy. It was so cool, and they were all really well done. Like every band did the songs justice. It was awesome.
Yeah, man, and I never heard that song before, so after I heard Limp Bizkit's version, I was like, "Bro, this song is fire. Let me go listen to the original." And I was so let down because the Limp Bizkit one was so good, and when I listened to the original one, I was just like,
Yeah, it's hard to
that cover
replicate
was so much better."
the energy that they had, you know.
Yeah.
But like you know, just another thing, like they put that whole section where he hypes up the crowd, and then it goes into the solo, but like the guitar player didn't play the solo, the DJ played the solo and like
Yes.
mixed to the solo, which I thought was like so cool, so cool.
So let's talk about your band Daytona 2000. So you guys are going on tour and you cover songs as well. And what I've noticed on YouTube, and you said it here earlier, that the other guy in the band was a big Blink 182 fan. You guys like covering Blink 182. Let's talk about feeling this and what was kind of like the thoughts that, hey, this is a song that we should cover.
Yeah, that was our first cover that we did with Daytona Beach. And it was like the multi-layer of the vocal ending is what I always thought was really cool. I really like the guitar riff that's in there too. It's pretty unique and fun to play. But it was like there's a 3-part vocal at the end. So we were all like working out, like, all right, I'm gonna do this part and you do the harmony, and then Jeff was doing like the ad-libby like background vocals. And it was just really cool that was like probably one of the first songs that we pulled together, and we were like, holy crap, we can pull this off. You know what I mean? Like we can sound like this band. We can do it justice. And yeah, so then we did the recording and did the video and had some fun with the video and just played with the lights in the studio so it didn't look like a First to 11 video. Because that was one of the things that like I'm in so many different projects and have tried to do so many or put, you know, all of my friends on YouTube and do different things with them. I never really wanted like the success of First to 11 to be the direct like reason that someone else did something well. So it was like we filmed all these videos in the same location that First to 11 did, but we tried to make it look different so that people weren't like, oh, that's just the guys in First to 11 doing other stuff. You know, it was like we wanted to try and come up on our own and build our own you know, fan base and stuff like that. And I think that video did really well. It got hundreds of thousands of views, and you know, it kind of set Daytona Beach like on a place where it was like, all right, we can stand on our own. We don't need, you know, anyone really to help us. But then it was like, all right, let's do some collabs with First to 11. Let's do some stuff together. And yeah, that just has been going on for like 4 or 5 years now.
Here it is. It's Daytona Beach 2000 with Feeling This on Indie Rage Radio. All right, very good. And segment 4 is kind of like it's at the end of the show, so we're up against the clock type thing. So it's a little shorter segment.
Okay.
Segment 4 in 3, 2, 1. Indie Rage Radio, IndieRageRadio.com. Sadly, we are nearing the end of the show with Ryan from 1st to 11. Thank you so much for coming on, brother.
Dude, this has been awesome. I got to comment really quick on how sick your radio voice is.
Oh, man, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Much love. So you're pretty much a jack of all trades, bro. Like, tell us a little bit about Monochrome Studios.
So I started teaching guitar lessons when I was in my early 20s, and that ended up spawning the band, First to 11, and a bunch of other bands as well. And we were working out of a music store, and it was like kind of like, sometimes they wanted to have ukulele clinics, or we were too loud, and the people that were trying out guitars were getting bothered by what we were doing back there. So I started my own place, and that was Monochrome Studios. So it was just a place where I was like, I want to do guitar lessons, but I want to go further. Once you learn how to play guitar, I want to teach you how to join a band. I want to help put bands together. And then once we got the bands together, I want to help you get shows. I want to help you make content. I want to help you, kind of grow your brand, because you've got to be successful. It's fun to play music, and everyone plays music for fun, but a lot of times you have to stop playing music for fun when you got to get serious. You got to make some money. You got to justify spending time doing this versus spending time doing something else. And so I wanted to be able to teach kids, like, this doesn't just have to be a fun hobby. This can be, your job if you do it seriously, and if you put the right foot forward. And I think that's kind of our thing at Monochrome, is like, you can take this as seriously as you want to, but there's no limit. There's no ceiling. Like, if you want to get a record deal, we'll help you get there. We'll take you from the very beginning to the very end.
And so do you do like consulting for people who aren't in the Erie area?
Something we'd like to do. We're still kind of trying to figure that out. But like, yeah, I would love for our team to be able to like fly to another city and make content for a band that exists, there, or help, other cover bands that may want like a press kit so that they can get higher paying shows, or something like that. Yeah, it's something that I've very seriously considered, and we're taking some steps in that direction.
Very cool. And does Monochrome do all the filming for like the 1st to 11 videos, Daytona Beach?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I see you have a lot of other artists that are on your Monochrome as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So everybody that works there is, either in First to 11 or films for First to 11, or, and then everyone that's in First to 11 also helps, all the students and all the other bands. And, we all, kind of intertwine and help each other out as much as possible. So everybody that works there knows how to record songs. Everyone that works there knows how to film videos. It's something that as a musician, you can't just play your instrument anymore. You've got to know how to, operate a camera and get good shots, and, record yourself, get good audio. And there's just so much more into being an independent artist, and just being able to independently record and independently, make videos.
Most definitely. So what should we expect from 1st to 11 in the future?
We're trying to kind of adapt to different platforms now. We've done really, really well on YouTube, but TikTok is a new thing, and now you can make money there, and you can gather a fan base there, and it's a whole different segment of people. So we're, kind of getting into that sort of stuff, making different types of content that aren't just polished, start to finish cover songs. Maybe we're going to do some stuff live, instead of the pre-recorded videos that we've been doing. Maybe we're going to do some streaming stuff. We're going to try and just test all the new stuff. If there's a way to gather fans and make money as a band, we're gonna try and find out if we can do it.
So if there's one cover artist or cover band that you haven't collabed with yet on YouTube, who do you think that would be?
There are some younger ones that are popping up now. There's one that's called Burn the Jukebox, I believe. and they're like real young kids, and they're doing great, and they're doing TikTok, and I think that they're not quite, on YouTube yet, or have got the same type of following that they do on TikTok. But yeah, I'm interested in working with the next generation, because there were a lot of people that reached out to us when we were trying to figure it out, like Kurt Hugo Schneider, Alex Goot, Halocene, David Michael Frank. There's a lot of like other contemporary YouTubers that we've been able to collab with, and it's been awesome. And I would love the opportunity to be able to help some other people kind of get into this space and know that they're not just in their own little bubble trying to figure this out. Like, we've got some experience, we've got some advice, and maybe they can help us out with the newest and coolest stuff that's going on with social media.
Most definitely. All right, so we're up against the clock here, Ryan. Let's go ahead and talk real quick. Now, see, I've heard you mention Lady Gaga a lot. Let's talk about the cover of Bad Romance.
Yeah, so that one, hopefully I'm getting these titles right. I'm so bad with like song titles. But this one, I believe, same kind of concept as what I did with Call Me Maybe. But it was kind of like I was taking inspiration from Rob Zombie, which is one of my favorite artists when I was formative years. And there was just something that kind of clicked. It just sounded like the la da 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 would work, with that style. And it just had this like hollow, sort of like drivey sort of thing. And I was like, I think we could make a Rob Zombie sounding version of this song. So we went and did it.
Before we head out of here, I looked on one of your videos, the What If cover.
Okay,
And I looked at another interview that you have done, and you have I don't know if you still do, because I think this was a few years ago. Do you still have the country cover band?
Yeah, so Refuge is my country cover band, but we never really did Refuge videos on YouTube. So that's like my local bar scene cover band that I'm in. But as First to 11 is kind of coming around to country a little bit, they're like, you know what, it's not so bad. There's some cool stuff in there. So we're trying to put together some stuff like that. I'm really like, I'm not a great singer, but I love the idea of it. Like, I'd love to learn to do it, just to have it be, something else that I'm capable of doing. And so I'm trying to learn how to sing. I'm trying to learn how to be a country singer. So that's something that I want to do. And we've done some streams, and we joke around with it. We have this like kind of side project thing called Cash Bar. That was basically whenever Audra, our singer in First to 11, is out of town, we would do like a stream where it was just the guys, and we would do like country songs, and we would kind of poke fun at the whole thing. But like, genuinely, I love country music, and I really want to pursue that sort of stuff too.
Yeah, country is a guilty pleasure of mine. My daughter loves country, and every time she's in the car, I love it because we just get to listen to country music.
Yeah,
but
that's the best place to listen to it. Like, when you're in the car, it's a nice day, windows down, like, country hits a lot different than if you're just like sitting in your living room listening to country.
Yeah, don't sell yourself short on your vocal acumen, because when I was listening to What If, I think that's the name of the song, What If, right?
Yeah,
that was a great cover. And when you started with the country twang, I was like, hold up, wait a minute. I was like, this is all right.
Yeah, that was like my favorite one to do. I have a deeper voice, so his stuff makes a lot of sense for me to sing.
All right, Ryan, it has been an absolute pleasure. We're going to go ahead and end with this. Here's First to 11 with their cover for Bad Romance. For Ryan from First to 11, my name is Mikey O. We are out of here. I'll see you when I see you. Awesome, dude. Thank you so much for your time, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, this was fun.
Before you go, if you would, could you give me a drop? Could you say, hi, this is Ryan from First to 11, and you're listening to Indie Rage Radio?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, whenever you're ready.
I can get closer to the microphone. What's up, everyone? This is Ryan from First to 11, and you're listening to Indie Rage Radio.
Sweet. Thank you so much, dude. I know you're busy, so I definitely appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, no problem, bud.
Take it easy, and let us know if your son ever becomes a pro racer. We'll have you back on.
Yeah, you got to check out his TikTok and Instagram, though. Like, he's killing it on social media, playing covers and stuff like that. And so's Quinny. Like, they're impressing me. They're my favorite part of the day.
What's his social media handle?
Just Cohen Krychek, Coen Krysiak.
Okay, definitely, man. All right, brother. Take care and good luck and safe travels on your tour.
All right. Thanks so much, bud.
Yeah, man. Bye bye.
Later.